Not everybody likes this quote, but Tozer wrote it years ago. It's doubtful God can use anyone greatly until he has hurt him deeply.
Wow. Yeah.
That lands hard when you're in the middle of the hurt.
Yeah.
And it sounds like God is a sadist, sort of pushing you against the wall and daring you to breathe as he has his fingers on your jugular.
And really gets blamed.
Yeah.
Like, how could you?
Tozer didn't write it with that in mind.
Right.
The best part of that quote is to be used greatly.
Yeah.
But we want the shortcut.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I want that without Peyton.
Yeah.
I want that without a daughter that gets a divorce.
Absolutely.
I want that without the X-ray coming back.
Yeah.
Looks like a tumor.
Yep.
Has all the marks of a malignancy.
Yep.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want that. But the hurting greatly does something to us.
It strengthens us from the inside out.
Of course it does.
It's life isn't a cognitive ascent where we just sort of learn concepts. Concepts are vital to understand, but it is truly through that crushing and then through the redemptive peace that only comes because of the cross. That's where that's where life is lived out.
Let me, at the risk of embarrassing Steve, say after these 10 years as a pastor at the church where Steve serves, I've yet to hear the first complaint against Steve's counsel and compassion and approach. Now that's a remarkable, if there's a lightning rod in the church, it's either the music or it's the counseling minister.
Yeah.
And I've got to tell you, not only is it true of our music, but I will say with you, Steve, you touch people where they are.
Thank you.
You help them. You don't preach, but your words carry with them a great depth of wisdom that you don't get out of a book.
Hard earned. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Chuck.
I mean that with my whole heart.
And
Thank you.
also say that he's not for hire, is he?
Don't want to go anywhere. I am.
If anyone watching this even has that thought, may
It's not gonna happen.
may the flies and the fleas of 1,000 camels land in your armpit.
I'm old enough to understand where that one came from. Oh, it is a humble.
We are
humble
grateful
privilege.
to have your influence and to have your perspective that you bring, because when you're there, I can always say to the others on the staff, have Steve in the meeting because he will bring a depth that's necessary. Not that they don't have some, but we've not gone through what you've gone through with the loss of your daughter. And God has used that to use you greatly.
In fact, that is exactly what you said when I said, hey, let's do an interview.
Absolutely.
You said, you know what? First thing out of his mouth, first reply, you got to have Steve there too.
Try.
I've been blessed. Like I said, my wife, Melanie, we are true partners, and we've worked through things and are working through things. But I think what we try and do, we have this saying. There's this echo that we look at each other, and it's a challenge, and we go, okay, it's time to behave as we believe, and it's a simple statement, but boy, does that jar us. Just, Steve, would you just behave as you believe?
Right.
In my office, my wife gave me a picture of her and I, and it sits behind me. And she kind of smiles, and the picture's there, Steve, and she basically paraphrasing says, okay, when you're sharing all this wonderful, I'm listening, and so I need you to bring some of that stuff home with you.
and before we turn Steve into a saint to stand in the wall, let me add, there are moments, I'm sure, when you have to say, I don't know what to say here.
Oh.
I may have been through this experience, but what you bring, there's no answer that I can come up with. But I'm here to be with you.
And I think, Chuck, that is truly the greatest wisdom, is realizing you don't have the answers. You don't. It's this
I've never
presence.
found a verse that says we have to.
Yeah.
We bring that on ourselves.
Right.
If I'm in this role and I have this responsibility and this person comes to me, or this couple with their difficult child or teenager, there's nothing that says in the Bible, I now must speak for God
Right.
in a way that will give the answer
That will echo through
to
the
these
halls.
people.
Right.
Please.
Just please don't. Is what
I think
Those who think that, I don't want to talk to.
right.
one of the greatest gifts I think a pastor can reach is learning how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Sure.
Realizing that the Holy Spirit is the one who brings comfort, and just learning how to be comfortable in tremendously uncomfortable, tremendously difficult
I
situations.
heard you say a while ago, Colleen, that you realize just being there
Yeah.
is in itself ministry.